Participation and engagement means getting involved in things that affect you.
Using my voice and my lived experience to impact something else. So that might be a bigger service, or it might be a group of people, influence things that I want to see change.
There's always room for improvement everywhere, and for an organisation like the NHS, it's so important to hear everyone's side of their story.
I think sometimes it can be quite easy to feel lost in a system or like not being listened to. You really need to feel like you're being listened to be able to engage in any help you're getting.
We can't control much of what's going on in our lives, but I always think, well, when I first joined the service, what would I have liked? What would have helped me? Being able to have a say in something that in the end it's going to help us, but it's also going to help everyone else coming through the service as well. So it's nice to know that I can do that for someone from the very start of their journey. When I first came into the eating disorder service, I got this big massive booklet. It had loads of great information in it, but at that time I wasn't in a place to sit and read through a big booklet. So I've gone through it all and I've highlighted things I like, things I don't like. I think one of my main suggestions was having it into 2 different booklets, so you can have one, a nice easy read, like, you know, the main stuff that you need to know when joining the service, and then one for a bit later on. As part of being on the young person's panel, we get to put our views forward on things we like about the service or the things that we think should or could be changed. One of the main things was the waiting rooms.
When I've been into those clinics and things, it just feels odd. It's not a nice place to be in.
I always felt like the waiting rooms were very clinical, not relaxing, so I put forward a few suggestions saying maybe we should get some artwork.
Painting on the wall and having like a quote underneath it. Lava lamps, things like that in there, or pens and paper for younger kids to draw.
Get some plants in a waiting room just to, you know, make it a little bit more relaxed.
A more comfortable place and not feel like it's a clinic.
I worked with Catherine Rudd doing patient panel. I was doing interviews for the ISF, the intensive support function.
The purpose of these interviews is to try and introduce a younger person, ask some questions, answers, and overall find out if you found the best person.
As young people who are either going through the service or just came out of the service, it's really nice that we have that chance to interview them.
Because I had some experience with the ISF, I could get a feel for the kind of people who were being interviewed. If it kind of felt right with them, then I knew that they would make a good person to work with the ISF team.
And if I say that someone's performed like this in an interview and I don't think they're the right person, I feel like the staff would then understand that.
I've done so many different projects, like the other Hear My Voice film, which was amazing.
Well, Hear My Voice is about what happens in a crisis and how people can get help when they need support.
It was a project for like the doctors and NHS, just getting like people's views on stuff and like what's going well, what's going bad.
I get to influence things within the NHS, which has always been a big area for me, considering like my lived experience of going through NHS services my whole life for my mental health.
I was a bit nervous when I saw myself on screen watching the film, but I'm really pleased that I've took my part on it.
I like do like a nice teamwork. I'm so proud of myself and of my friends.
Working within these groups gives me a lot of time to sense of kind of like belonging, and I've made amazing friends within it.
A digital story can be very personal to you. You can include whatever you like. I included scripts and pictures of both of my inpatient stays in hospital. You could use it if you were going to a new education setting. You could go, here's my digital story, this is about me.
I felt like for years I wasn't really listened to by certain hospital staff or dietitians, paediatricians. The main advice I got was eat more. For a child with an eating disorder like myself, that is difficult. I decided to make this digital story so I could try and say that, hey, this is hard, I can't just eat more. And I hope that this doesn't happen to any other child. And it's nice to know that that might be because I've stepped up and spoken out about it.
The purpose of CWP is to help the young people, and if they can speak to us, then they know what they are doing right and they know what they are doing wrong. They know what some things could be improved, and yeah, they get to know us, the people who they are trying to work with and help.
My opinions are very interesting.
I'm just pleased that I can have a viewpoint.
When you've put so much effort in something, then knowing that it's actually like done something and actually created change and impacted people or services or whatever that may be, it makes a huge difference to me.
That made me happy to feel important.
With the National Young Advisors, I got a really varied set of experiences. It really has shaped my career path. Looking back at it, it was better than I even realised at the time. I think it was a huge part of actually my kind of personal recovery. I sort of started to like unmask a little bit and just be the crazy wild person that I am.
It's terrifically helped me through how I can help people.
Knowing other people want to hear what we have to say, that is very important, because a lot of the time we'll find it quite hard to say about our lived experiences unless we have that nudge. So quite often like that kind of like nudge of like, oh, we want you to be involved in this, we want you to do this, can like drive us into like getting more confident in doing things. And this has definitely upped my confidence.
Getting involved is definitely one of those things that will expand your horizons, growing your comfort zone and stretching out what you're comfortable doing. I can't imagine it not having an impact in some way.
It's completely changed my life for the better.